Hello and welcome back to my fourth tutorial in Java. I'm Todd. In this session, we're going to see variables in Java. But before continuing this session, if you haven't watched my tutorial on data types in Java, I highly encourage you to do so, because these topics are very related. I've presented them in separate sections only to speed up your learning curve. So please watch that video get the best out of this presentation. Now in this lesson we'll talk about first the definition of variable, then we'll see declaration of variables in Java. After that we'll have discussion on variables initialization, and finally we'll see variables classification in Java. And by the time we complete this tutorial, you'll be able to declare and initialize variables of different kinds in Java. Let's begin. What is a variable? Before giving you a theoretical definition, let us start with this pictorial explanation. Take a look at this picture, and this one, and this one. We can even have other kinds of drink in our glass, can't we? So, we have used our glass for milk, soda, and water. From this example, we can say that a glass is a container which holds drinks of different kinds for us. We can change the drink inside the glass anytime. Similarly, when we create a variable, we can change the value as many times as we want. However, we cannot change its type. Example, if we create int variable, we can make it hold different values like 4, 8, 20, and even other values. But we cannot change int into double. Now let us see the definition of variable. A variable can be thought of as a container like our glass, which holds value for us during the life of our program. A variable is a placeholder to store values. It provides us named storage that our programs can manipulate. The very purpose of a variable is to store information. Variable has a name and data type. The data type of a variable determines how much memory space to allocate. Java compiler shows an error if you try to assign a variable of large type to a variable of small type. Variable declaration. The general syntax of variable declaration goes like this: data type, and the name of the variable, and a semicolon. Every normal statement in Java ends with semicolon. Example, int age, semicolon. Int is our data type, age is our variable, and semicolon. Let's see another example. Int salary, semicolon. Int is our data type, and salary is the name of the variable, and semicolon. Please note that it is possible to declare several variables at the same time separated by comma. Example, you can declare int age, int salary, and number of cars at the same time separated by comma. But it's not possible to declare a variable more than once in a method. So please declare a variable only once in a method. Example, int age in a method is not allowed. And this guy is telling you guys declaring a variable more than once in a method is not permitted. Let's see a program in Eclipse how to declare variables. Launch Eclipse. Let's create a Java project. File, new Java project. Let's call this project var. Let's hit finish. And let's create a package within this project. And let's call this package packvar. And let's say finish. And let's create a class within this var package. And let's call this class as var class. And let's include the main method in there. And let's hit finish. And let's get rid of this guy from here because we don't need it. And now let's declare a variable. For example, we can declare int age semicolon, int salary semicolon, int or double price semicolon. Int number of cars semicolon, and so forth. Let's see another example if you want. Let's create a project. And let's call this project var declare. And let's say finish. And let's create a package within this project. And let's call this package path. And let's say finish. You can do like this. And let's say finish. And let's create a class within this package. And let's call this class a class. Call. And let's include the main method in there. And let's finish. And let's now declare, let's get rid of this guy from here because we don't need it. And let's declare variables. Int I semicolon byte b semicolon double tax amount semicolon. Finally, let's declare several variables at the same time separated by comma. Example, int a, comma, int c, comma, int d, comma, and so forth. You can have as many variables as you want separated by comma. In brief, this is how you declare variables in Java. Now, let's see variables initialization in Java. Variable initialization. In Java, variable initialization refers to the assignment of an initial value for a variable. Simply, initializing a variable is when you give a value to the variable. Let's see example. Example, int my age is equal to 17, semicolon. As you can see, I've given a value to my variable my age 17. Int my height is equal to 5 feet. Again, as you can see, I've given 5 feet, the value 5 feet to my height variable. Int my ID 2345 semicolon. As you can see, I've given a value of 2345 to the variable my ID. Let's see example in Eclipse on how to initialize variables. Let's launch Eclipse and let's create a project, and let's call this project. Let's call this project. Let's call this project var_in, or var_in. And let's say finish. And let's create a package within this project. And let's call this in pack. And let's say finish. And let's create a class called a new class in this package, and let's call it class in. And let's include the main method in there, and let's say finish. And now let's get rid of this guy from here because we don't need it. And let's declare our variables. Let's initialize our variables. Int my age is equal to 17, semicolon. Int my height is equal to 5 feet, semicolon. Int my ID is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, semicolon. And let's make it uppercase, this one. And let's see one more example. For example, we can say byte b is equal to 70 semicolon boolean bool is equal to false semicolon float f is equal to 1 2 3 dot for f semicolon. In short, a variable initialization is a process of giving value for variables. So this is how you give value or initialize variables in Java. Now, our next discussion in this lesson is types of variables in Java. There are three types of variables in Java. These are local, instance, and static variables. Let's see each variable one by one. What is a local variable? A local variable is a variable declared within a method. Its visibility is only within the method. Example, public void date, int month, int year. And month and year are local variables that are declared within a method. They are also called parameters. We will have detailed discussion about parameters and method in our subsequent session. So for now, just focus on the meaning of local variables. So as you can see, month and year, they are inside the method. They are declared inside the method. So they are called local variables. Let's see another example. Public void income. And within this method, we have two variables, salary and bonus. And these two variables are called local variables because they are declared within the method. Let's see example in Eclipse. Let's launch Eclipse. Let's create a new project. And let's call this new project log. And let's say finish. And let's create new package within this project. And let's call this packlog. And let's say finish. And let's create a class within this package. And let's call this class as the class. And let's include the main method in there. And let's say finish. Now, let's declare local variables. Local variables, remember I've said that local variables are variables declared within a method. So let's declare local variable within a method. Int salary semicolon int bonus semicolon semicolon whatever int price semicolon. Let's create a user-defined method and let's declare a variable in there. Public void add is our method name, parenthesis, and let's put our curly brace and let's put int a and int b, comma, int c. So these are our local variables because they are declared inside inside the method. So any variable which is declared inside the method is called local variable. So simply this is how you play with local variables in Java. And our next discussion will be on instance variables in Java. What is instance variable? An instance variable is a variable which is declared inside the class but outside the method. Example, class person. We have a class person, and within this class person we have two variables, int a and int count. And these variables are declared within the class, not within the method. So any variable that is declared within the class or inside the class, but outside the method is called instance variable. Let's see example in Eclipse. Launch Eclipse, and let's create a project, new project. And let's call this project ins, and let's say finish. And let's create a package within this project. And let's call this package as ins pack. And let's say finish. And let's create a class within this package. And let's call this class ins class. Ins class, we can say that. And let's include the main method in there. And let's finish. And let's get rid of this thing from here because we don't need it. Now let's declare an instance variable. Remember, we have said instance variable is a variable declared within the class. So let's declare instance variable. For example, int age semicolon, int mark semicolon, int price semicolon, whatever variable that you have. Let's see one more example. Save file. Let's create a new project, new Java project. And let's call this project now student. And let's say finish. And let's create a new package within this class, within this project. And let's call this project student. And let's say finish. And let's create a class, a new class within this package. And let's call this class as student, or we can say person. And let's include the main method in there. And let's say finish. And let's get rid of or remove this thing from here because we don't need it. And now let's declare an instance variable. Class person, a person might have height. So let's say int height, semicolon. Next, a person might have count, int count, semicolon. A person might have kids, int number of kids, semicolon. A person might have name, string, name, semicolon, and so forth. So this is in short how you declare instance variables. As you can see, we have declared instance variables inside the class, but outside the method. We have declared all those instance variables inside the class, but outside the method. Now, the other kind of variable is static variable. What is a static variable? A static variable is a variable declared with a static keyword in a class, but outside a method. Example, public class employee, static salary, semicolon, static department, semicolon. As you can see, these variables, salary and department, are declared as static, but they are all inside the class, and these variables are declared with static keyword within a class, but outside the method. So please note that static variables are defined as a class member, and that can be accessed without any object of that class. Static variables are initialized only once. Let's see example in Eclipse. Let's create a project, and let's call this project start. And let's say finish. And let's create a package within this project. And let's call this pack stat. And let's say finish. And let's create a class within this package. And let's call this class start class. And let's include the main method in there. And let's say finish. And let's remove this thing because we don't need it. And let's declare static variables. Remember, we have said that static variables is a variable declared within a class with a static keyword, but outside a method. So we have to declare it within a class, but outside the method. So this is our method, and we're declaring our variables inside the class using a static keyword. Static A, semicolon, static B, semicolon, static C, semicolon. So we have to declare our variables through using the static keyword using static, the keyword static, and it should be within the class. We can declare some more variables like static, salary, semicolon, static, department, div, semicolon, static, position, PR, semicolon, and so forth. And please note that static variables are declared with a static keyword inside a class, but outside the method. Now, let's summarize what we have seen so far in a few words. We have said that a variable is a placeholder to store values. And we have seen three types of variables in Java: local variables, instance variable, and static variable. Local variables are declared within a method. Local variables will be destroyed once they exit the method. Instance variables are variables which are declared inside the class but outside the method. Instance variables will be destroyed when the object is destroyed, whereas static variables are declared with a static keyword in a class but outside a method. Static variables will be destroyed when the program stops running. Both instance and static variables are declared within the class. However, the difference is that static variables are declared with the static keyword. And that ends my tutorial on variables in Java. I hope that gives you some ideas how to work with variables in Java. Thanks for watching. Please check on my next tutorial.